good morning, everyone.
Yes.
One more time for me. I know it's early, but good morning, everybody. Good morning. Awesome. Okay. Well, I am Liz Fromgen. I have the honor of being the 20th president of Southwestern College, and I am incredibly happy to welcome you today to the 2025 Business Hall of Fame ceremony. I really do think I have the best job on campus. I'm just going to say that out loud. Founders Weekend and all the Halls of Fame induction ceremonies are so meaningful in the life of our college. We are fortunate to receive nominations annually that lift up amazing builders who have excelled in their professional pursuits. And aside are just wonderful human beings too. The Business Hall of Fame inducts an incredible class of honorees each year who always bring varied backgrounds and perspectives along with a long list of accomplishments. This year's class represents a great deal of business acumen, entrepreneurialism, which we love, and perhaps most importantly, grit. Would you three agree you have some grit? In spades? Grit? Okay. It is a unifying characteristic of our graduates to have an innate entrepreneurial spirit. Mound builders are competitive and driven. I think this group would attest to that. They exhibit ingenuity and optimism, and this makes them great business owners and leaders. Unsurprisingly, these traits serve our graduates well in whatever enterprise they endeavor. And I look out at our students today, and I think that's pretty fantastic. Certainly, the individuals we induct today have cut their own paths. They've built important relationships, stayed curious and creative, and applied discipline to earn success. And they have given back in countless ways to this community and to the communities that they each call home, and to our students. Each of these inductees has offered important and transformational support to our college, and we remain grateful to each of them. We recognize graduates and ambassadors of the college in the halls of fame not only to honor them, but also to illustrate the bright possibility for each graduate of Southwestern College. So I am looking at you, soon-to-be graduates. Right, Dre? How many days? 21?
21 now.
21 now. This is our conversation this week. Builders are capable of so much, and these three inductees are a testimony to that fact. I think we should say out loud, we should never underestimate a mound builder. Would you agree? Yeah. Amen. Okay. As our students read your stories and your faces in the hallway of Mossman, they are inspired to imagine what might lie ahead in their lives and careers. Today, with appreciation and respect, we lift up Vineeta Sherring, Dr. Jim Thomas, and Millard Management, which was founded and is managed by Richard L. Jantz. I am grateful for the ways in which each of you represent Southwestern College, and thank you for the ways you continue to support our college and our students. My sincere congratulations to each of you on your well-deserved honor. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Kristen Petty, Chair of our faculty and Professor of Business, forward. She has graciously stepped in for Dr. Kurt Kaiser, who is healing up at home. So, Dr. Petty, we'll just leave it at that, shall we? Yeah. Dr. Petty.
Good morning. The Southwestern College Business Hall of Fame was established in 2002 to honor alumni with significant achievements in business. It is the intent that this Hall of Fame gives recognition and honor to those who excel in the business field. Before we officially get underway, I would like to call your attention to the beautiful glass creations on the table beside me. These one-of-a-kind awards are given annually to Business Hall of Fame inductees. They are handcrafted by the talented Mr. Scott Hartley, class of '97, a Southwestern science major who went on to use his artistic talents and knowledge of science to become a master glass blower. He is also a successful small business owner. Scott is a 2016 inductee of the SC Fine Arts Hall of Fame. We are fortunate to be able to give these unique pieces of art to our inductees to permanently remind them of their place in our hall. At this time, I invite all previous Business Hall of Fame inductees or spouses of inductees who are here today to please stand for our recognition. Do we have any? Yay! We are so very proud of our students and the ways in which they put what they are learning in our courses to good use. Business students and MBA students who are in attendance, please stand so we may recognize you. It is truly a privilege. You guys have no idea how true this is. It is truly a privilege to get to work with these talented, driven young people every day. We would like to take just a second to talk about the success of the Southwestern College Builder DECA team and their recent trip to the Collegiate DECA International Career Development Conference that was held in San Francisco from April 5th through the 9th. 4 of our students represented Southwestern College among thousands of students from around the country, across the country and around the world. These competitions are intense, fast-paced, and judged by professionals in business and industry. I am proud to announce that Jalen Davis and Kier Masso placed 5th in the nation in business-to-business marketing, which was huge, amazing case study. That's an incredible accomplishment and a true testament to their preparation, creativity, and their professionalism. Hannah Brown also earned national recognition, placing 11th in the country in the Sales Leadership Case Event Study. Her performance reflects both her dedication and her natural leadership skills. If you know Hannah, you know that's terribly true. Kuzai Busu represented us strongly in the financial accounting competition, applying complex financial concepts under pressure with clarity and confidence. Collegiate DECA is more than just competition. It's an organization that empowers students by building their skills in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. It provides life-changing opportunities to network, travel, and most importantly, prepare for their future careers. Please join me in congratulating these outstanding students for their hard work, commitment, and success. We're incredibly proud of the way they represented Southwestern on the international stage. At this time, I would like to ask the business faculty to please stand. I see you all. This is an incredible group of people who give an incredible amount of effort to their students day in and day out. They are fantastic teachers in college and great builders. Dr. Kaiser asked me to share here that he's incredibly grateful for the experience, work, and service of the faculty. So, good job, everybody. Today, as faculty, we are reminded of what all this hard work and sometimes stress and heartache is for. It's to help students go further than they ever thought possible. It's to help them build the futures they want for themselves. And our inductees today are proof of what is possible. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the 2025 inductees to the Southwestern College Business Hall of Fame. Our first inductee this morning is Vineeta Sherring. Vineeta Sherring, class of 1980, came from India as a teenager and built an admirable career from the business foundation she received at Southwestern College. Though, like me, she received a degree in the sciences, hers in chemistry. In 1990, she joined the prominent global graphic design firm Hamagami. Ooh, that's pretty. Carroll Incorporated in Los Angeles and Dallas, beginning as an accountant and rising through the ranks to controller in 2010. In this position, she continues to steer the company's financial ship, managing a multi-million-dollar annual budget, employee success, investments, taxes, and beyond for the company's multiple divisions. Previous to working at Hamagami Carroll, Vineeta held various accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll positions for companies in Los Angeles and Baltimore, where she grew her expertise and learned the value of diligent work and self-reliance. Endeavoring to repay the opportunities she's been blessed with through her resilience and the assistance of friends and mentors, Vineeta pays it forward by employing and mentoring young women in business and donating her time and expertise to worthy causes. Since 2010, she has provided financial services for Advanced Vision Care, a Los Angeles-based eye surgery and vision care office. In addition, she manages the finance for the Mascot Foundation, a California nonprofit organization providing crucial eye surgery and vision care support for the underserved. Vineeta, welcome to the Southwestern College Business Hall of Fame. Please come forward to accept your reward.
Take a picture for someone to hug you. But oh my God. Then come over here. We'll take a picture, and then I'll put this down, and then let me just get that for you. Awesome. Okay. It's going to be over here.
Hi. Thank you.
Just a big one, Brad. She is.
When President from Bergen,
Liz, just Liz.
called to discuss this honor, I did think my Southwestern journey was Hall of Fame worthy. But she asked me to share my story of a young woman who benefited from the SC experience, which could provide a relatable pathway for a different student. I agreed, but mostly to thank and inspire others. I certainly wasn't ready to go into adult college world in another country, and I can assure you few colleges are looking to educate an underage, socially isolated and painful, shy Indian girl, except Southwestern. I got a one-way plane ticket in 1975 and flew 10,000 miles.
You weren't going home. They wouldn't let you come home.
Yeah, across the planet and landed in small town Winfield. $9 in my pocket, which at the time was the total amount of currency you could exchange when leaving the country. I had the good fortune to land here at Southwestern, and it provided me a safe and opportunity to study, to learn, and eventually to lead. I got my first part-time job, $1 an hour, and I thought I had made it when I moved to the $2 an hour as a checker. And then I'd really made it when I started rolling crayons paper at $5 an hour. That was my job. I was going to just stick with it. After I graduated, I moved to Maryland and then eventually to California. I've spent decades working in finance, helping many small and mid-sized businesses. I may not have graduated the highest academic honors in 1980, but I graduated with the distinctive purpose to work hard, to persevere, and to live a life worthy of God's gift to me. There were many kind angels here in Kansas that helped with mine and my brother's studies. They were Groovers, the Collings, the Johnsons, and Miss Everly. They were really kind and helped us along the way. I like to pay it forward by giving to other people that cross my path. I advocate for employment and growth opportunities that reshape and impact lives, especially for young women. I'm not alone in this mission. I also would like to thank my husband and life partner, John. He has always supported my dreams, and together we have built careers and wonderful life filled with love, joy, and respect. I am a proud alumnus, and I'm forever grateful for SC for giving me this opportunity to live in this country and have this amazing life. Thank you.
Our second inductee is Jim Thomas, class of 1976. Dr. Thomas graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology in 1976. He went on to earn a master's degree from Wichita State and then a PhD from the University of Missouri, both in the field of psychology. And he has spent about half of his career in advertising, marketing, and research companies, and about half in corporate marketing insights and marketing intelligence. Dr. Thomas became known for his ability to bring innovative but practical solutions to business challenges. Throughout his career, he was described as a persuasive presenter from the C-suite to the classroom to domestic and international academic conferences, oftentimes leading from the middle, building consensus and collaboration across an organization, its people, and its culture. Further, he takes great pride in seeing the colleagues he has helped develop and mentor, from students to interns to new hires, become accomplished contributors in their own right. Dr. Thomas has worked with some of the most recognized and successful brands in the world. He honed his craft with hands-on experience in multi-unit retail, B2C and B2B financial services, telecom, healthcare, academics, home-delivered goods, insurance, and chain restaurants. Most recently in the pharmaceutical industry with Bayer Animal Health. Dr. Thomas worked primarily in the innovation and R&D areas in pre-launch and launch activities with scores of EPA, FDA, and USDA products. This included the design and implementation of nearly every phase of marketing: feasibility, launch strategy, pricing, positioning, branding, messaging, and advertising. Finally, as an adjunct professor, Dr. Thomas has taught classes in advertising, industrial organizational psychology, statistics, marketing, marketing research, and strategic management. Dr. Thomas remains an inquisitive, lifelong learner with a solid foundation in applied psychology, balanced with business imperatives that were proven in the marketplace. His community involvement has focused on education. He has served multiple terms, in total 10 years, on the Board of Education where he lives in Shawnee, including serving as president of the board. Dr. Thomas has also served in advisory capacities at the University of Missouri, the University of Southern Illinois, and here at Southwestern College. He also makes an annual trip to Winfield to offer guest lectures, primarily on market research, to our students here in the business division. And we are grateful for the experience and insight that he offers. Dr. Thomas, welcome to Southwestern College Business Hall of Fame. Please come forward to accept your award.
Okay. Let's not drop it. That's the job, right? Okay, so I'm going to put this back on the table so we don't drop it.
So now it's my turn?
Now it's your turn. They're all yours.
Well, first I want to thank Dave Hewlin, Kurt Kaiser, and Kristen Petty, as well as the entire business department for the nomination. I have to tell you, I'm still surprised. Further, I want to thank the Board of Trustees for having the wisdom and foresight to select Dr. Elizabeth Fromgen as the 20th president of Southwestern College. Without her energy and commitment, I don't know where we would be today. So thank you for being there, and thank you to the Board of Trustees. I've been in Richardson Auditorium before, but I think the last time was probably 1973, and this is the first time I've been on stage. So it looks a little different. I want to thank those in attendance. I'm surprised at the turnout. My wonderful wife, Marla. If not for her persistence and patience and support and tolerance, I'm sure I wouldn't be here. Our daughter Sarah, her husband Sam, my brother-in-law Paul and Bob, both are SC alum. Thank you for being here, as the rest of you. To rephrase Henry David Thoreau, not that the story need be long, but it has taken a long while to make it short. More than 50 years. During the last century, in fact. It's taken me that long to make it short, and I will try to be brief. February 6th started out as an uneventful day. And then at 1:25 in the afternoon, Dr. Fromgen called and left a voicemail. She said she had some good news and wanted to tell me personally, and to call her back at my earliest convenience. My first thought was she was trying to reach a different Jim. It's a common name, and my voicemail just says, "Hi, this is Jim, leave a message. I'll get back to you." I really didn't know what to think, so finally I got to thinking after I called her back that maybe she was going to talk to me about something I'd talked with Katie Riggs Johnson, the VP of Development. And when she finally spoke, she said I'd been selected to be inducted in the Southwestern Business Hall of Fame. And for those who know me, they can attest I'm not often at a loss for words. And seriously, I did not know what to say. And after a bit of stammering, I told her, I don't understand. I wasn't a business major. How could this happen? And she explained the process. Thank you again, David Hewlin. And with a little laugh, you said something to the effect like, "Yeah, you were liberal arts. That makes it even more interesting." I knew that Southwestern had a Halls of Fame. A couple of years ago, my brother-in-law, Paul Bean, was inducted to the Service Hall of Fame. But it never crossed my mind that I'd ever be considered for such an honor. I wasn't a particularly good student. I wasn't a student that any faculty would talk about to their colleagues or anything like that. The only business class I enrolled in while I was at Southwestern was Accounting 1. I was a senior. During the first exam, I looked at the test. I got up, looked at the professor, walked out of the room, went to the registrar's office, dropped the class. I didn't need the credit hours to graduate. I couldn't afford the textbook, so I saved a little money. And my thinking was, if I ever needed an accountant, I would hire one. And you know, they cost a lot of money. As I thought about the things I was going to say at this occasion, I got to thinking about my time here at SC, how fundamental and foundational, essential, and influential those years have been to my life. All the experiences, the students, faculty, staff, the campus atmosphere. As I was thinking about Dr. Fromgen's phrase, yeah, you were liberal arts. Not sure what to make of that. In hindsight, the liberal arts approach to my education and personal development was far more important than I realized. The term Gestalt comes to mind. Brother-in-law Bob knows this, he's a psychologist. Gestalt is an old school of thought in psychology, and in that context it means the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Perhaps that's the best way to describe my time on campus, how influential it was in my life. The broad range of classes that you take as a liberal arts major. Archaeology, English, anthropology, sociology, art, history, political science, statistics, psychology, Spanish, philosophy, mathematics, and biology. All these things offered a new way of looking at the world for me. It was transformative. It certainly helped me deal with a broad range of business cultures, both domestically and internationally. My frame of reference had been expanded, and as a result, it's ever evolving. As I look back and think about that and examine things from different perspectives, critical thinking, which I absorbed, was not expressly taught. It wasn't even talked about. I don't ever remember even the words being spoken, but it was part of the liberal arts education, and unknowingly, I started thinking critically. And critical thinking became part of my nature. It's part of who I am. Some of you, probably most of you, are wondering how a liberal arts guy, non-business guy, psychologist, not that kind of psychologist. I was a bartender for too many years to know that I was not cut out for that. Would end up receiving a recognition for business. Some years ago, I was given a keynote address at a formal, I'm talking real formal convocation, at a university in Illinois. It was for graduate students in the business school, their faculty, and some sponsors. And a second-year student came up to me and asked me about my career. And that caused me to pause because I had never really thought of what I had done as a career. I quickly gathered my thoughts and I'd said something to the effect that I didn't have a career in the traditional sense. To me, a career connotes a planful, purposeful progression, a staircase, if you will, of education, experiences, and jobs that lead one to an end goal, perhaps a position or a title. And I laughed. I go, I don't know about a career, but I've had a series of jobs that were connected primarily by some personality traits. Curiosity, tenacity, and a high tolerance for ambiguity. Nothing about my career would I consider planful or purposeful. My wife can attest to that. Most certainly, curiosity and tenacity are curvilinear. Both have profound points of diminishing return. I know this from personal experience. During my years at Southwestern, my curiosity was stoked adaptively, and this is for the students, really not a very adaptive manner. But tenacity was absolutely necessary. As Langston Hughes put it, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. I was an immature, raw 18-year-old when I arrived. As I mentioned, many of the classes I just simply took out of curiosity. I didn't receive much direction. Then I finally got an advisor who told me that I needed to get a degree in something. And And I had taken a lot of psychology classes, and in fact, I probably took almost all of them. So by default, I got a degree in psychology. And then, you know, when attending the occasional neighborhood gathering or similar social events where small talk is the norm, which I'm not really very good at, somebody will inevitably ask me what I do for a living. And I say my job is to find things out and make sense of it all. And if they continue to bother, I follow up with, and then I have to convince those who hired me to do things differently. I could only be successful at doing that with that liberal arts background, understanding people from their perspectives, understanding how they think, feel, and behave about things. That goes for customers and the people who hired me. Theodore Roosevelt said, "I am a part of everything I have ever read." Similarly, every class I had on this campus, every professor I had, everything I studied, every menial job I had downtown is still a part of me. Not to mention the entire campus experience, the gestalt, the whole. I'm very thankful for my professors, Max Thompson, Wallace Gray, Ed Salm, Don Anderson, Phil Schmidt, Warren Brown, Rich Dunphy, and a very understanding and empathetic business office woman who sensed my situation, and she told me that she would make sure that the check that I had just written to the college wouldn't get to the bank for several weeks. And believe it or not, I told you all that so I could tell you this. I came to Southwestern from a very small place in southwest Kansas. My high school graduating class was small. So small that if you were in the top 10% of your class, you were the top 10% of the class. The night of my high school graduation, I was required to give a speech. And I tried to get out of it, but they wouldn't let me. I told that small gathering of locals that our lives were comprised of a very small number of significant life events, probably 3 or 4. And I attributed this to some unknown and perhaps imaginary philosopher. In other words, I made it up. The first of these significant life events was birth, which I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I was there. The last being death, which I do absolutely want to be totally aware of what's going on. I just don't want it to happen anytime soon. That evening, so many years ago, as a 17-year-old kid, I'd said at my high school graduation to the locals that were gathered there, I said, this might be one of those significant life events, high school graduation. I didn't really think that, but it seemed like that was the appropriate thing to say in that situation. With hindsight, I can surely offer perspective to that kid from that small place that the number of significant life events cannot be known. Without question, meeting and marrying my wife are 2 significant life events. The births of our daughters, their weddings, our 5 grandchildren, and what is that? About 13 significant life events right there. Some significant life events are planned, some expected. I didn't expect nor plan that I'd meet my wife in the parking lot between Stewart Gymnasium and White PE. But I did. Marla and I have shared all but one of those significant life events. This honor is unexpected for both of us. I can honestly say that not for that chance meeting in that parking lot those many years ago, I would not be here. Marla, if not for you, I'm absolutely certain that I would have already experienced that last and final significant life event. So thank you for my life. This honor, this induction is probably and most unexpectedly a significant life event, and by my count, it's 14. So thank you very much.
The 2025 recipient of the Business Builder Award is Millard Management, owned and operated by Richard Jantz, class of 1970. Millard Management is a crop insurance company that was started in 1987 by Richard L. Jantz, 1970, and has grown to become one of the largest in the industry. The company is primarily based in Kansas, but it does business across 5 states. Richard Jantz grew up on a farm near Cimarron, Kansas, and has used his farming background to forge a career in service of farmers. He excels at providing personal service to a large and widely spread customer base. He is active in community and professional organizations. It feels like a complete understatement to say that Millard Management is a strong supporter of Southwestern College students, athletics, and the business division of Southwestern. Mr. Jantz, we are excited to celebrate Millard Management as the 2025 Business Builder. Please come forward.
Do we want to? Turn that around so we can get that in the picture. Okay, I'm going to put that down for you, and they're all yours.
All right.
You ready?
This is a big mistake of every president that's been at this this college. This is the 3rd time I've had a nice award from the college.
We've had this conversation.
But it's the first time I've had a microphone, because I'm usually loud enough they don't need a microphone. But I want to thank the college for this award. But Jim, I noticed that you must go to the same barber I do. I don't think that we pay for the haircut. I think we pay for to find it. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming today. I appreciate the athletes that showed up. Hopefully you're not hungover, like I used to be, right? Well, anyway, Millard Management, it started, like Christian said, 38 years ago. We didn't worry about DEI or woke or Green New Deal. We did it with common sense, passion for what you do, have great work ethic, and take care of the most important asset you got, your customer. And that's how we've been successful. I was a one-man show when I started, and luckily we've grown. I want to, first of all, thank my 2 sisters and my brother-in-law for getting me back to health, or I wouldn't be here today. Also, I'd like to introduce 2 of our team members out of the Lawrence office. Dee Woods, would you stand up? Dee's been with us for 24 years. Deb Geist has been with us for 23. One other person that's not here, he's on a company trip, Van Urt, he's been with me for 25 years. And we got a good team, we worked hard, and in my absence the last 2 months, they did a great job, I appreciate that. When we started, like I say, I was a one-man show. I'm knocking on every daggum door I can to get business. And I can remember when I did some stuff for Farm Credit, and a guy said, you need to go out and try to sell these people. I can't even get past the wife. And so they gave me 4 names. So I go to Leavenworth County, and I sold all 4 of them that day. And I got back and I told the loan officer at Farm Credit, I sold all 4. And I said, by the way, the wife you couldn't get by, she invited me for lunch. He said, how did that happen? I said, I don't know, must have been the charm, I don't know. Crazy. But anyway, we've had great success in our business. We've been lucky. Crop insurance industry and Millard Management has been very fortunate to succeed when we had, and we survived because we had 2 of the worst presidents in American history, in Obama and Biden, that tried to kill our industry, and we survived that. That stadium wouldn't be built today because of that. My money was really made early on. I saved and everything. And when I was on the board in 2008, Saunders Stadium was about ready to be condemned. So they said, is there anybody willing to donate money? Well, being the idiot I was, I committed. But it's a great stadium, and I'm glad these guys get to play in it. You know, a lot of things have changed at Southwestern, but two of the most important things that Southwestern has going for it is athletics and the business department. I was a lousy student. You can ask anybody. I was a C student at best. But I had a Hall of Fame football coach tell me, he said, Rich, remember one thing. There are a lot of A students working for C students out there in this world. I'm definitely a C student. My help are probably A students, okay? But it takes a lot of passion that you have to do. I don't care what you're going to do in life. You got to have passion for what you do. You're never going to be successful. You know, and Southwestern has a need, and that is the DeHaven Center. And my college roommate, Bruce DeHaven, who coached 30 years in the NFL, I told him before he passed away that we were going to build a facility for him and name it after him. And it's going to get done, hopefully. They've started it. Hope we have the money to finish it. Kind of crazy, you know. I got a text from his wife Sunday, and she wanted to know how things were going. Has the Haven Center got started? And I said, yeah, it has. And I said, I'll keep you informed. But the toughest thing that we started raising money, I guess maybe in 2017, 18, something like that. And we raised about $1.9 million. And then it was abused and spent on other things. And the thing that I am upset about more than anything is there were over 100 people that had given money to that project in good faith. And we blew that money. The board and the college blew that money. That's not right. How do you get the trust back from those people that gave money then? And two of the biggest donors that this school has had the last 15 years were in athletics and they were business majors. That ought to tell a college something. They need to put some focus on those two. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know about the Board of Trustees, what their game plan is. But I can just tell you, in 2008, they didn't listen to me. The board didn't listen to me, and I was part of that board. I fought like hell for a lot of things. I was 1 against 30 all the time. But I made them money for not selling land at $2,300 an acre. And when President Merriman left, they sold the land for $6,000 an acre. I made them $3,700 an acre. Not one person said thank you. In 2018, I told them about how rotten the president was, what he was doing. No one listened. I guess they thought I didn't know what I was talking about. They do now. They know the deal. So now we're talking 2025. And they won't listen to me again. They're going to think I'm a dadgum idiot. But the city of Winfield, Taggart Wall, and the citizens of this town need to get off their duff and pass a 1 penny sales tax, and that money comes to Southwestern. That would amount to $1.6 million to this college. It might keep the doors open. You know what Southwestern College means to Winfield, Kansas? Economically, between $60 and $65 million. Take that out of your budget, see what's going to happen. If this college would close, Winfield would be a ghost town. It wouldn't be worth living in. Property values would be awful. So there is a need for this town of Winfield. I mean, they built a new police station, fire station. Did they have to be that fancy? Did they have to have new? That was a want. But that need is Southwestern College and also the hospital. You got to be smart here. There's a lot of things to think about. And hopefully people have enough business sense to make it happen. I don't have to have a PhD like Jim or a law degree to figure some of this stuff out. It's pretty much common sense stuff. But I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate and thank these inductees. Jim, I tell you what, you look sharp in that tie and everything. I mean, you should have told me what the dress code was today. I mean, I would have probably put maybe a tie on. I don't know about anything else. But anyway, thanks for coming. And if there's nothing else, please write a check to this college and help keep it survive. I appreciate the time, and thank you.
Again, on behalf of Southwestern College, we share our sincere gratitude for coming to the celebration of business and entrepreneurship and for your ongoing support of Southwestern and the business division. We look forward to continuing this rich tradition and ask for your help in this endeavor. If you know of any outstanding Southwestern alumni who should be considered for one of our halls of fame, we hope you will visit the website to complete a nomination form. You can also find the link in your program booklet. You can also share your nominations with any of the business division faculty or the institutional advancement staff, or you can just share it with President Liz. Please note that there are still 2 halls of fame yet to happen today, the Fine Arts Hall of Fame and the Educators Hall of Fame. Check the full weekend schedule in your program. Again, on behalf of the Business Division and Southwestern College, congratulations to our worthy and deserving inductees, and thank you for joining us today and celebrating the 2025 class and the Business Hall of Fame. Thank you for your continued support of the Business Division and Southwestern College. Please feel free to gather and enjoy each other's company and coffee in the lobby. Thank you so much.